Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Tech Informist. This is episode 55, recorded live on Wednesday, April the 8th. My name is Kevin Arvell. I'm a little bit under the weather still as I missed Monday's episode, but I'm also joined by Brad Whiteside. Brad, how are you doing today?
A lot better than you, it seems.
Definitely sound a lot better than I do, and I do appreciate you filling in for me on Monday, and I
Yeah, no
appreciate you
problem.
filling in for JJ today and Friday as he has a few appointments that conflict with our recording schedule this week as well. And it's possible you might be filling in a couple days next week as well while I'm at New Media Expo
All right.
out in Las Vegas. So, people, if you like listening to Brad, you're going to be getting plenty of Brad fed your way over the next week or so. So, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been around to talk technology with everybody. So I don't know. Hopefully everybody's been doing well. I'm getting better slowly but surely. So I do apologize for sounding a little bit more hoarse. The voice is still here, but is getting a little bit better. So moving into the news, Brad, I'll go ahead and let you kick things off. You've got an interesting story about Redstone. Tell us about Redstone and what this is
So,
about.
as you all know, redstone in Minecraft is one of those materials you can mine, but Windows liked it so much, or Microsoft liked it so much, that they decided to name their next release, or their code name release, Redstone for Windows 10. And that, originally when this launched, the story launched, it was just, Redstone, one release, done, next year. But actually, it turns out that it will be two releases next year for Windows 10. And we don't know any specifics other than they will probably be in June and October of next year. And I'm sure they'll be packed with features that won't make it to Windows 10 this year. So, I mean, that opens the possibility of so many things that may or may not make it. But this was originally reported from NeoWin, so, I mean, obviously we'll keep an eye on this, and I'm sure we'll hear more after the release of Windows 10, but I just thought it interesting that they moved their code names from a bunch of Halo code names now, Minecraft, which they previously bought last year. What do you think, Kevin?
So are we kind of thinking that this Redstone and these two big updates, we're talking over a year away. Are we thinking these are gonna sort of be like a service pack kind of
Right,
thing,
yes,
like
because
packaging new updates and stuff?
yeah, because with Windows 10, it's supposed to be like the last quote unquote like Windows update, and then from there on out, it's basically going to be your, you know, service packs from here on out, and they're just going to keep improving, and so I think these big updates that they want to improve the OS with.
Okay, okay, makes sense. And as somebody who have only really watched my son play Minecraft, I mean, I know that there's the redstones and things like that. There's all sorts of things that you can mine in the game. So it is interesting now that Microsoft owns Minecraft that maybe they're going to start associating a lot.
And the only thing that'll be really interesting is if like the next one is going to be like if these are two separate ones or if they're both part of Redstone. But if like the next one's named like Emerald or Diamond, then it'll be really interesting that that they're really diving into those Minecraft names. Anywho, why don't you tell us a little more about LG?
Right. So LG has finally announced the G4. They haven't officially announced, but they're going to announce it on April the 28th. Now they're also going to do something a little bit different this year. They're going to give 4,000 people in more than a dozen countries the opportunity to quote unquote test drive this new LG G4 smartphone in the weeks before it launches. Now, obviously, whenever they do the official announcement in late April on the 28th in New York City, of course, that will still be a few weeks. Typically a month is what you generally expect from an announcement to official release. So there's really not a whole lot of details yet on how they're going to do all this, but they do have a press release, and we'll link that in the show notes as well. But it just says, as part of its most ambitious smartphone introduction yet, LG will select 4,000 consumers in 15 countries who will test drive the all-new G4 smartphone weeks before its official launch. Kicking off today in Korea, the program will target consumers in the following 14 other markets in the days ahead: Turkey, Indonesia, Singapore, United States, China, India, Brazil, Canada, United Kingdom, France, Germany, Mexico, Japan, and Hong Kong. So you will be selected based on your entry responses, which selection criteria will vary in each market. Individuals can increase their chances of being selected by sharing their application experience on social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, and Weibo. Once selected, participants in each country will be given an LG G4 for up to 30 days to experience the unique design and features, including its personalized user experience, high-performance camera, and impressive display for sharing online. And participants will be given various assignments to carry out over the course of their experience with prizes awarded. So you're going to have some hoops to jump through, and you're only going to get to keep it for 30 days. But still, 4,000 lucky people are going to have this opportunity, and
Yeah, I'd be really jealous about that.
yeah,
I currently have the LG G Flex 2, and the screen on that thing is phenomenal. I mean, it's curved, yes, but I just feel like LG has some of the best panels out there, and the LG G4 probably won't disappoint either.
no, I'm really excited to check out this G4. After seeing what has been released with the M9 from HTC and the new Galaxy devices, before I make a purchase, I've been wanting to see what LG is going to have in store, because the LG G3 is becoming more and more affordable off contract. You can get one for about 400 or something dollars off contract,
Right, yeah.
and that's a great price on what is still a really really great phone.
Yes, it is.
So I don't know. I mean, we'll be getting more information in the next few weeks as we get closer to the official announcement from LG on this.
Cool. Look forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Great phone. Hopefully, looking at the back, I know you mentioned before we started, looking at this image, it shows kind of like a leather backing. I don't
Yeah,
know if
that
they're
that'd
trying
be
to.
interesting to see a leather backing on a phone. You don't see that too often. I mean, I think Asus made one for, they branded it with the Lamborghini branding, but
Yeah.
it had the stitching and the leather from like that they would use in a Lamborghini. And I don't know if you know too much about how or what kind of cars I like, but Lamborghini has to be like my top favorite car of all time.
Mhm.
So I would totally rock that phone.
Yeah. Motorola also did that with Moto Maker. You could create one that had a leather back.
Oh right, yeah,
A few
that's
different,
those are cool.
yeah, a few different kinds of leather. And in fact, I think even what was it, Verizon customers could get one that was made out of like football material.
Oh really? I could see JJ getting that.
Oh yeah, yeah. But if it was Verizon, unfortunately, he'd be stuck having to miss out.
Oh yeah, yeah,
AT&T guy.
that's true.
Yeah,
As am I.
yeah. As am I as well. So I don't know. We'll see what LG's got. They've definitely been on a good run here lately with their smartphones. So hopefully they can keep it up. So
Cool.
talk a little bit about what NASA.
So NASA's chief scientist Ellen Stofan at Tuesday's panel discussed with the agency that they think they're going to be able to know where to look exactly for life in our universe in the next 10 years, and they think that they're going to find evidence of life within the next 20 to 30 years. Now, the reason I put this in here is because they put a really cool like infograph at the bottom, and it shows all the planetoids that'll be in our show notes. It shows all the little planetoids, and for instance, they have Earth as the first one, so you kind of get an idea where it's going, and it tells you the distance from the sun, and then it goes down the list of possible planets that could either have life or support life in the future, and shows how far away they are from the sun, and it goes all the way down to actually Pluto, which I thought interesting, but I guess because, it's a big ball of ice that's possible water at some point, it could harbinge life. But I think this is exciting. I really want to find something like this in our lifetime. I think that's important, um, for us moving forward. And it's exciting to me. I love things with space and whatnot. What do you think, Kevin, about this?
I think it's interesting because technically, I mean, looking through this list of on this graphic, you've got dwarf planet Ceres, Ceres.
Yeah.
Not sure if that's being pronounced right. And then you got a lot of, you got what, 3 moons of Jupiter,
Uh-huh.
Ganymede, Callisto, and you got a moon of
Couple of moons of Saturn.
yeah, Titan,
Then
which
there's even a moon from Neptune. So yeah, a lot of moons in our solar system, but
that they feel could be potential places for this stuff, and that is good, and then again, that's funny because like I was telling you a little while ago, I've been binging on Breaking Bad since I've been sick, and it gives me a chance to actually watch it. And at the one episode where Walt is sitting in the bar with that chance meeting with Jane's dad, and they talk about finding ice on Mars. And Walt says, well, maybe it can lead to Mars being kind of like a truck stop for NASA as they're, navigating throughout the universe. And then seeing more about this, it just makes me think
connects
of
the
that.
dots.
Yeah, it's like, well, I guess that is very, very possible, and it's kind of what that was alluding to.
Uh-huh.
So,
I mean, me personally, I think we will see somebody on Mars within the next 30 years.
oh
So,
yeah, I would,
and,
I would definitely say so because I mean, you've got Elon Musk and all these other people that are really putting a lot of money and research into space programs, and there's there's a lot of drive. There-
yep.
there's a big push right now. It's almost, I wouldn't say it's quite the John F. Kennedy will be on, we'll land on the moon before the end of the decade kind of.
Not quite, but I think we're getting there, definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot of things being put into place right now that's going to affect things down the road, and it is like you said, it's exciting, and I hope to be able to see that within my life.
As do I. But apparently, Apple has something to say about their customers. Why don't you fill us in on that?
Yeah, this is kind of an interesting story, and coming from The Verge makes it even more interesting because I know Verge tends to lean heavily towards Apple. And while Apple may want you to come to the retail store to check out and try on the new Apple Watch, but they would rather you order online. So basically, the headline of this article was Apple wants people to stop sleeping in front of its stores for new products. Now, many people know that that's one of the most exciting aspects of a new product launch is the camp out line experience. Now, I must say it's been years since I've done like Black Friday or anything like that, but when I did do that, I've had a lot of really good experiences and a lot of good memories and stuff like that. I've never been, robbed or anything like that. Haven't even really seen any major issues like that in the few times that I've done that. So the gist of the memo isn't simply that Apple's retail stores are going to have low supplies of these two new products. It's that, what is the person's name? Angela, Arendts, Ahrendts.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. I hate trying to butcher a person's name. But apparently they have circulated a memo to store employees telling them to encourage customers to buy the Apple Watch and the new MacBook online, where more will be in stock. The days of waiting in line and crossing fingers for a product are over for our customers, the memo says. She later calls the shift to online sales a significant change in mindset. So, I mean, it's one of the big things. Every time there's a new Apple, a new iPhone or iPad, there's always people camping outside, especially for the iPhone. And, local news outlets will always be going to, Apple stores and AT&T stores to, film the line and, take pictures and shoot video and interview people just because of the whole experience. So it's kind of interesting that they're wanting to possibly do this because it's it's a very publicized, part of the whole experience. I don't
Yeah,
know. I
it's
don't
kind
know.
of a move away from like what we do traditionally. Like, I used to hang out in lines quite frequently for new game releases, but since the new digital market, it's almost more appealing to buy it digitally because I get it an hour earlier than
Right.
if I were to wait in line, and I don't have to go to the store or whatnot. I just buy it over the Xbox. It downloads, a few weeks before, and then when the day hits, as soon as 11 o'clock hits, the game's mine, and I can play it right then and there.
Yeah, you don't have to spend time driving to a store and waiting in line and getting your pre-order and driving back home. It's like, boom, all right, right here.
But that's kind of part of the fun because you get to meet new people,
I,
and
I agree.
yeah, and I don't see this changing. I really don't. I mean, maybe it might change a little. There might be your diehards that just refuse and want to stand in line and make that appearance. I think one of the last few times I've stood in line was when I bought my Xbox One at the Microsoft store. There was a lot of people there.
Mhm.
That was nuts.
Yeah. So, I mean, we all have seen the Samsung commercials from a couple years ago where,
Right.
making fun of people standing in line and waiting in line and but then again, there's always the people that are waiting in line to buy the device so they can resell it or they're buying it for somebody that just the people in line aren't always just buying it for themselves.
Right. Uh-huh.
That, whether they're sending them over to China so somebody overseas can get it earlier, then I don't know. So we'll see see what they do and how this goes. Because I mean, we've got the pre-orders for the Apple Watch opening up this Friday, actually. So I don't know. We're just a couple weeks away from the actual release. So
Should be interesting.
yeah, we'll see if they're actually out there. No, you guys need to go home and just pre-order. Here's the link. Here's the link. Pre-order. Thank you. No. Yeah, we'll see, but see how that goes. I don't think they're going to want to take the negative PR
Yeah, that
hit.
could really rub people the wrong way if they start shooing them away from the store. That's not really something you want to do to the customer.
No,
Get them away from the retail store. That doesn't make sense in my head.
no, no. I completely agree, and I don't see that going over too well. But we'll see. So I would love to charge my phone as fast as possible sometimes, especially now that I've got this iPhone. The battery life isn't quite as good as it was on some of my other
Well, it's
phones.
funny you say that because let's see, Stanford University just took a let's see, they replaced a lithium-ion battery with an aluminum graphite battery, and you can recharge a smartphone in 1 minute. Now, I don't know about you, but my phone, it generally takes about an hour, hour and a half, somewhere along those 2 hours to charge up fully. If I could charge a phone in a minute, it almost wouldn't matter what size that battery was.
No.
Um, Now, obviously there's been a lot of leaps and bounds in batteries, in the past couple of years. So I'm sure, in the next couple of years beyond that, we're going to see things like it's almost like Wi-Fi for your battery, but it charges your battery. I mean that's incredible to me.
Hmm.
So this aluminum technology may or may not work its way into devices, but they also found that the aluminum graphite lasts longer than the lithium ion, which is interesting to me because lithium ion's in almost everything right now. So for it to switch gears and change to something completely different, that be interesting to see, and also you know like I said, that all these different battery technologies, they just keep growing more and more so to where, battery is just not going to be an issue like it, was, let's say, 5 years ago. So,
Yeah.
what do you think?
I mean, I love the idea, and especially with the turbocharging and quick charging technology that's available today. And for example, you're using the Nexus 6 right now.
Yeah.
So, have you tried out the turbocharging with the turbocharger that's included with that?
No, actually, I've been cheating and been using the wireless charging because I miss it so much. I'm a big wireless charger person, and the fact that it's built in that's like one of my favorite features. I love wireless charging. When I first got my 920, I thought it was kind of gimmicky until I used it a little bit, and I'm like, you know what? This is actually really convenient and really
Yeah,
cool.
it is. If you got a little space on your desk, you just set your phone down. It's great if you have a convenient situation where you're at work or something like that. I mean, I wouldn't say it's how you want to primarily charge your device because wireless charging tends to be slower.
Right, right.
If it's just gonna you're gonna be at work and you're at your desk for a long time, you just set it there and just kind of trickle charge, then it's fine.
Yeah, especially if you have a desk job. I mean, you can just, plop it on the chart. Like I've got a stand, so it would be standing up. I see a notification, I can grab my phone.
Hmm.
And if not, it just sits there and charges. So it's nice.
Now, I mean, I know whenever I had my Nexus 6 that during the turbocharging that the back of it would get really warm when it was
hmm
charging. And that's one of the things that kind of worries me, talking about this, how fast it can charge. It's like, I don't know if batteries are
Yeah,
typically
I kind of
intended.
wonder how much heat that would cause if it would charge in under like a minute. That's nuts. Like you would think that'd get really warm, or maybe it charges so fast it doesn't get warm at all. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, like it says here, the only issue is that they hold about half the power of a current lithium battery.
Right, so like my 300 milliamp battery would be closer to, I guess, like a 15 milliamp, a 1500 milliamp.
Yeah,
I don't know. That worries me a little, but I mean, if it charges in under a minute, I guess it really doesn't matter too much.
yeah. So I mean, I know it's one of the benefits or one of the perks of the Galaxy S6 is the fact that you can get so much of a charge in just 10 minutes.
Right, yeah, that's really cool. I think we'll see a lot more of that very soon, and I think we're getting to the point to where we're going to perfect the battery as we are with the chips already, in computers. We're getting to that point to where there's no leaps and bounds anymore. It's going to be baby steps because our technology as we have now just doesn't support anything beyond that.
All right. No, it is going to be interesting to see I mean, it's good 'cause, I mean, this is a Stanford University, scientists are doing this stuff, so that's you can't go wrong with Harvard or Stanford or MIT, something like
Right.
that
Yeah.
getting involved, always doing research like this. So it is it's very interesting that they've been able to come up with something like this.
Yes, it is.
Well,
Speaking of over the air,
yeah.
Xbox One adds over the air tuner support for US and Canada preview users. So this is this is something that all of us Xbox One people in the US have been asking for since they launched in Europe. Um, I think it was a really cool idea because not only can you get over-the-air stuff off of a digital tuner, like your local channels, but you can pause your live TV from over the air for up to 30 minutes. And on top of that, let's say, I want to play a game, but my fiance wants to watch TV. Well, she can grab our, computer, tablet, whatever, and stream through Smart Glass TV while I play a game at the same time. That is really cool stuff, and I know we will be using that. Um, we'll be using that quite frequently, and the initial cost looks like it's going to be about $60. It's going to be the little TV tuner. It's a USB you plug into the back of the Xbox, and then there's the coax cable, and the coax cable plugs into an antenna, which is where you get your shows from. And then Yeah, it's really cool stuff, and I cannot wait to have that in stores and grab one because I know I'm definitely getting one. What about you, Kevin? What do you think about that?
Everything that they keep doing with the Xbox One and even, the PlayStation 4 and talk about, pass through and integrating it more with your TV system and your TV setup. There's just so many things that it can do that I wouldn't have never fathomed
Oh,
as
I
a
know.
child playing Nintendo. It's like
Right.
when you were playing Nintendo, your TV was occupied. That was it. There was nothing. No picture in picture of this or that. It was just
Hmm.
it was either game or TV, game or TV. You had a choice. Now it's like you can be doing multiple things at once on the same box, and
Well, with Windows 10 coming out, they'd already confirmed that you'll be able to stream like a AAA game, like Forza 2 or Forza Horizon 2, um, to your computer while somebody watches TV on your Xbox. I mean that I know I'll use that too.
yeah,
So,
it's just crazy. And even with isn't it with the Wii U where you can play a game and because that controller's got its own display, you can like play the
yep.
game right there on the little display that's on the controller itself, and
Uh-huh.
people can be watching TV and they're not taking up it's like it's crazy all this stuff that they do.
Yeah,
This stuff
that's
and
another
it's
cool thing.
exciting. God, I wish I had more money to buy this stuff. Time
Right.
to actually play. Because the only time that I actually have time to play games or watch a lot of TV is when I'm sick, and I don't like being sick because when I'm sick, I'm just a big baby. I can't handle being sick. Thankfully, I don't get sick very often. But when I do, it's usually pretty good.
Yeah, same here, same
It
here.
knocks me down for days. This is terrible, but so they're talking about over-the-air support, talking Fox, CBS, NBC, PBS, and other non-cable broadcasters.
Anything you used to get on analog, like over the air stuff, plus all the digital channels in between, like your, 2.2 or 2.3, and all those, you know, what one of them's antenna TV and one's
Yeah, that
Meme
shows a lot of
TV.
classic TV shows.
Yeah, and that's really cool. Like, it almost, well, and especially being able to pause live TV. I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Because I mean, most people, I mean, maybe in my generation, don't have a DVR just laying around, with all the premium channels and have a way to pause live TV. But this gives you an option to do so. So
Right.
that's pretty cool.
No, again, I mean, growing up, we had channel 2, 4, 5, 9, 11, 30, 24, and then we got like 46, which is like a home shopping network. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hey." So growing up, I was used to having like 8 channels. And then once we first got cable, I was like, wow, this is really neat. And
Yeah, I remember the first time my grandparents got a satellite. Like, it's like, wait, there's more than 10 channels? How are we
yeah,
supposed to watch all of these?
yeah, because back then, you had to use a VCR to record stuff. You didn't have DVR recording 4 channels.
Right.
You record 4 channels and watch another one at the same time. It's like this
Yep.
is crazy. And I know it's my dad just got DVR service late last year himself, and we'd been on him for quite some time. Like, just bump up to HD, get DVR. You'll figure it out quick enough how to actually use it. And then once he got it, he's like, yeah, I can just start recording and deleting and just whatever and watch what I want when I want. I'm like, yeah, that's what we've been trying to tell you.
Well, I know with Windows Media Center, it used to be able to record live TV, and I wonder if they're kind of pushing the Xbox in that direction. Like, will we get to a point to where you could DVR stuff on your Xbox? Because I mean, you can already game DVR. Why couldn't you do that with actual shows for your own personal consumption?
Yeah, you would think you'd be able to because essentially that's what the Xbox One. I mean, that's what a DVR is. It's basically a little computer running some software with a big hard drive in it to store shows.
Yeah, I mean, and you can add multiple, external hard drives. So I don't see any reason why you you couldn't add one separately for TV and have one separately for games.
Right.
And that'd be cool.
Yeah. I don't know. It's they just keep blowing my mind.
Yep. More to come, I'm sure.
Always, always, always. All right, so that does things for the news. So, app and entertainment picks. I'm gonna go ahead and let you start off here because there's a couple things that I want to quickly look up
Sure.
before I talk about.
So,
I'm gonna let you start off.
new app just came out for my Microsoft Band yesterday, and it allows you to control the camera on your phone. Well, namely Windows Phone, because that's the only place it's at right now. And you can say, like, camera, take a photo in 5 seconds, or you can delay the timer, or you can take it right away. And I think this is really good for group pics, especially if you have it on like some kind of tripod or sitting up somewhere where you can get these nice shots with a group of people and yourself, instead of you taking the picture and being the odd man out, and it's like, oh, where were you in this picture? Oh, I was taking the picture. But you don't have to approach those weird strangers and try to teach them how to use a Windows phone, or or what have you. But I think that's really cool, and I think it's got a lot of potential. I don't think the potential's fully realized yet, but I went ahead and bought it. It was 99 cents, and I messed around with it a little bit. It's really cool, and I look forward to more updates on that. And that was my app pick for today. My music pick is, I'm a little bit of a metalhead, so I might listen to a few things, a little harder than most people. That's fine, I get it. But my music pick today is the album of Five Finger Death Punch's older album that came out in, let's see, 2008, I believe, or 2009, and it's War is the Answer. It's one of my favorite albums of all time, and I really like it a lot. I listen to it constantly. It never gets old for me, and it's $10.99 on iTunes, and I'm sure you can find it on Xbox Music, Google Play Store, anywhere you get music, I'm sure you can find it. So, one of my favorites of all time. You should check it out.
Nice, nice. So, does anybody else know what is coming up this Friday on Netflix?
Oh, no, I don't. You should tell me.
Daredevil.
So,
Daredevil is going to release the entire season of their upcoming Netflix series this Friday.
Very cool stuff. Isn't the Flash out right now too?
That is.
Or is it coming out?
I want to say it is out because I've been seeing people talk about it, but I have not looked into it.
I haven't either, but yeah, when there's what? There's Flash, there's Daredevil coming out, there's Arrow. I mean, there's all these like mini like episodes of like these superheroes. There's Gotham. I mean, they're really filling it out. You go from movies to TV shows.
Yeah, there's so many superhero universes and so many different shows out there.
Yeah, right. That's cool.
Yeah, so make sure to be checking that out this coming Friday. It's looking at the trailers and stuff. If you have not seen any of the trailers, definitely go to YouTube and just type in Daredevil Netflix, something like that. It looks fabulous. So I think it's going to be really good. Really excited. I think Stan Lee is involved in this as well. He's listed as an executive producer.
Cool.
Along with numerous other people. Each episode is supposed to run approximately an hour, and it'll actually be available in 4K. So for those of you Netflix subscribers that have a 4K TV and have the appropriate bandwidth, you can watch it and stream it in 4K.
Oh, that's interesting. Streaming 4K. I don't think I'll be there for a few years.
Yeah, definitely
have to have my 100 megabytes, download speed. I don't know. Don't get me wrong, 4K is cool, but it's still expensive, and I have champagne taste on a beer budget, so.
Yeah. That's one way to do it. And another thing, a few episodes ago, I mentioned that NBC was bringing back Coach, classic TV comedy with Craig T. Nelson. They're rebooting Coach as in kind of a different variation with Craig T. Nelson being in it again. There's rumblings that I believe it's ABC is going to try to bring back a Full House spinoff,
Yeah, I heard that.
and I'm like, why? People, original
I
television.
think they're banking on the nostalgia factor on
Yes.
a lot of these shows. Like, didn't they spin off Boy Meets World, but now it's Girl Meets World, and it's like the two main characters from the first one's daughter or something?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I was never the biggest Boy Meets
I
World
wasn't either, so
fan.
I mean,
So
I caught bits and pieces of it, but I never sat down and watched it.
yeah, I've seen clips like you. I've probably seen a few full episodes, but it was never a show I really got into
Yeah, me
that
either.
much. So yeah, that I would assume that the show's done well because I know it was a pretty hot topic that they were talking about bringing that back. So
Hmm.
I don't know. So they just keep recycling old ideas.
Yep, that they do.
Yeah.
Well, what was it? I heard it was like so there was like 100 something movies came out last year, and 80 of those movies were either reboots or redos or something like that. It was something silly like 80% of the movies that came out last year were all there no new IPs. It was just things that people have already done,
Yeah.
or they're just spinning off into something else. I'm like, we're getting to the point. I don't know. I guess we're running out of ideas.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, good. I mean, I watched Full House when I was growing up when it was on and stuff.
uh
And I guess it's one of those things I would probably tune into an episode or two just to see.
Right. See if it's worth, checking out or not.
Obviously, those first few episodes probably wouldn't even be any good. It's going to take a while for everything to really gel. So,
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like a lot of the character building happens in like the first season, so you almost have to wait till the second season to see, if things pan out.
all right, yeah, and oh gosh, that's all I can say. That's all I can say. But as I'm getting more and more through Breaking Bad, I'm in season four, like episode 4 or 5 now. I'm really excited to finish Breaking Bad and jump straight into
Better
Better
Call
Call
Saul.
Saul. Yes.
Yeah. We still have to watch the season finale of Better Call Saul, but the whole first season's been phenomenal. Gosh, what's the show writer?
Vince Gilligan.
Vince Gilligan. He just gets better over time.
He's
He's just
amazing.
yeah. His writing is just getting better and better, and it shows with Better Call Saul.
I just cannot get over how good this whole
It's addicting, isn't it? Once you get to watching it and you get to that point, there's no turning back.
it's really good and definite mad props to Vince Gilligan and everybody else involved with that show. Gosh. Well done.
So is that your show pick?
It's like been the thing that I can't stop talking about.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Breaking Bad, you need to definitely just, give it a shot. The first season I hear, for some people it's a little hard to get through, but once you get through that first season, it is a mad roller coaster all the way to the end.
Yeah. Yeah, no second half of season 3 and this first, half of season 4 has just been phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the episode The Fly.
Okay, so funny story. Like when that first came out, people hated that episode, but it's a good episode. I think it's a
I'm
really
sitting there
great
watching,
episode.
just sitting there thinking that they've turned this whole episode around a fly,
Yep.
and it is just fabulous. It's kind of like Seinfeld with the parking garage episode. It was just set in one setting, but
Well,
yet
it goes
fabulous,
to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
fabulous episode, just crafted around one minor little thing.
Yeah, it just goes to show that you can tell a story in a small setting. Like, for instance, 12 Angry Men.
Hmm.
I think that's a fantastic movie. And it's just a bunch of people deciding a man's fate in court. And it's all in one small room basically, the whole movie, and it's a great story.
Yeah. Now, are you talking about the original with Henry Fonda?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Just got to double check which version you're thinking of. I know then they did do a remake, didn't
I'm sure they did, and I didn't know that actually, but like I was saying, they redid all these other movies last year, so I don't see any reason why they didn't redo that movie.
they? And I'll just throw one other thing out there too, because we're kind of talking about a classic movie that if people have not ever seen, then I think this is probably one of Jack Nicholson's best films. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I don't know if you've ever seen that or
I
not.
haven't, but Jack Nicholson is he cracks
Oh,
me up.
oh my gosh! I mean, see, Danny DeVito, I thought was. I can't remember if he was in that or not,
Oh man.
but God, it is a fabulous movie, and
Um,
if you have not seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, you've got to see it.
oh, what's that one? It's one of my fiance's favorite. It's they're in Colorado and they're house sitting for the hotel. Oh, I'm kicking myself because I don't know it right now.
I can't think either.
Jack Nicholson's in it, and
Oh, The Shining.
yes, that is a creepy but awesome movie.
The first time that I tried watching that it was probably 5 or so years ago. I
Mhm.
fell asleep.
So, okay, I have this bad habit of falling asleep during movies because I'm not. I guess I'm not like actively engaged, moving a controller around and going nuts. But yeah, I did too. The first two times I tried watching it, but I finally, sat down, watched it for real one time, and got all the way through it, no falling asleep. But it's a creepy movie, and Jack Nicholson does great in it, and
Yeah.
um, it's definitely one of the movies we go to during Halloween.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I need to give it another chance and make it all the way through. Actually, I think I have tried to watch it again, and I did make it all the way through, and I was like, just, I guess I was left a little unimpressed, but
fair enough. It's one of those Stanley Kubrick. I think it's Stanley Kubrick
yeah.
movies that you like his stuff or his stuff's boring and you hate it, like 2001: Space Odyssey.
Hmm.
I know my fiance hates that one, but I actually enjoy it. She thinks it's a little boring, but I kind of enjoy it actually.
Something about horror films just doesn't do much for me. I don't.
I
I
guess it
guess
kind of
because
depends how they do it for me.
yeah, I don't know. It's just it's got to be realistic, and I guess The Shining to a point could be
Yeah, I see what you mean. I mean,
crazy guy chasing you down with an axe and stuff.
yeah, that can be realistic, but the shining that the boy has, that's a
I
little
don't know.
far fetched, but
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap things up for this episode. So again, Brad, thank you very much for joining us. And how can people find you as well?
you can find me on Twitter always at holy_shadows.
Right, right. So again, I'm Kevin Harvell. You can find me on Twitter at Kevin Harvell. This is the Tech Informist. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Google Instagram as well. Please always visit thetechinformist.com/live if you would like to watch Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. And you can watch and join in our live chat as well. And we do appreciate Daryl Rawl. Thank you again for joining us in the chat. See everybody in there. Talk about Nurse Ratchet, yes, and Danny DeVito was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So thank you, Daryl, and enjoy your 150 Verizon FiOS.
Ugh, so jealous,
Yeah,
especially after uploading all those movies to my OneDrive.
yeah, I've got some things that I need to upload as well, and sure wish I had those speeds.
I know.
Me being sick has kept me here, so I've been unable to get to the CIC at CET building where I've been kind of doing some co-working work out of the last week, but I've been unable to make it in this week. So I've got a backlog of things that need uploaded.
Yeah.
So do appreciate it. If you have any feedback or comment suggestions, maybe you'd like to see us schedule a guest, here in the near future. We got a few people in mind. Hit us up, contact at thetechinformist.com, and make sure to let JJ know. Shoot JJ a message on Twitter or something like that, at JJ Hammond Music. Let him know that he was missed today. But we do appreciate Brad for sitting in, and I think
Yeah,
things went
he'll
well.
be back soon.
Yeah, he will. So that does it for this episode. So again, everybody, thank you very, very much. And until next time, consider yourself informed, and we are out.